Good morning. Welcome back to the next devlog of my little frog game. If you haven't seen the last couple of videos, then first of all, go check those out, but I'll give a little recap anyways. During week 2 of trying out a couple of different engines, I found a brilliant game idea about a frog trying to climb up a level. I fell in love with this little simple idea, so the next chance I got, I ported this to my engine of choice, Unity, and got it running. Last time, I pretty much perfected most of the movement and I was ready to move on to the next parts of the game. And that leads us here. This game is so simplistic that there is so little game features that I'm pretty much done with all of the main mechanics. So, what do I have left to work on? Well, there's a lot left. There's menus and music and settings and saving and approval and app stores. Okay, yeah, I still got a lot. So how about we completely ignore all that and make the game look good? Yeah. The original art I made for this game I had to completely make in the 1 week time frame, so a lot of it was pretty rushed. Much of it was flat and really lacked details. A lot of it I wasn't the most proud of, except for one sprite, which also happens to be the most important one of all, the player. I thought I got him into an almost perfect state, and I loved him. So with that, I started planning out how to improve all the other tiles. But as I kept working and trying to fix up other assets, in my mind, something just wasn't working. And then it hit me. Because of the simplicity of the base frog, I couldn't add any more details into any of the environment. So here we go. Time to completely redraw the frog. First off, I started on paper. Sketching things out on paper is a much quicker way to get an idea for what you want. But just because this process is quicker, doesn't mean it's exactly, well, quick. I started just putting ideas down, but nothing was really sticking. I drew a single frog, then 3. I filled up a page, and then another. I finally overflowed to the next page in my notebook. There was nothing I was super happy with, but I was arguing with my brother, and eventually I ended on this one that I thought I liked at the time. The hard part was preserving the simple adorableness of the original while trying to add more detail in. There were a number of times where I went too far to each of the extremes. So when I thought I was happy with some designs, I went into Illustrator and started sketching them out. Even the ones that I liked in person, I just couldn't get their digital counterparts looking somewhere where I wanted it to be. After frustratingly working on this for too long, I decided instead of completely redesigning a frog, let's just go back to the original and add a little more detail. Let's plump him up, give him a little smile, and he's perfect. In total, I ended up drawing a total of 27 frogs on paper and on my computer before I was finally happy with the 28th, which also happened to be a modified version of the original. This process took me weeks, but I'd say overall, it was worth it. Okay, so I'm done with the frog, so I'm all done with art, right? Oh, I have an entire level to create. Back on pen and paper again, I sketched out a rough draft of the level and the general level of detail. Although there were a lot of sprites to draw for the level, I had a solid vision and I didn't need to do half as much trial and error as I did on the frog sprite. I made a rough digital representation of the graph that I drew on my computer. After playing around with some different color palettes, I was ready to go. The ground took me a couple of good attempts before I liked what I had. From this beginning grass and dirt tile, I extrapolated to the many different tiles that are required for a tile set. One of the big features that I wanted to add into the swamp that would become the level is the inclusion of a twisty vine that snakes itself through the level, giving some more visual depth. I also added in some flowers to sprinkle over everything and give it just a pop of color. The more details you add, the more the level feels alive, so right before I'd export all the art, I drew a little log. Overall, I was so happy with this new art pass. It looks so alive, and the colors really work well. if you compare it to the original, you can see how much progress I've really made with still more planned. It's a really big jump in quality. Get it? Because it's a frog in the game. Okay, fine. Moving on. Next up is, of course, getting everything into the game engine. This is a relatively straightforward process, but like always, halfway through it, I realized a bunch of the tiles that I forgot to add. Time to go back into Illustrator and draw some more dirt. With the final bits drawn, I got everything into the engine. It took me a second to get everything set up because this tile was orders of magnitude more complicated than the last one. But let me just say, I think it's worth it. It looks so much more alive, and this is a great foundation for all of my art going on. Still, it kind of looks flat, but I haven't added in a bunch of the detail that will make it really pop. Now onto the next big important item of business with this video. What am I going to call this game? Right now, the best idea that I got is a leap in the right direction, but that might be a little wordy and long, so if any of you have any other suggestions, I'm more than happy to hear what you have to say, so don't hesitate to comment down below. Well, I thought I've put some good progress into this video. Although it seems like I didn't do a whole ton in this video, it took me forever to get everything to the state it is in now. I started long before the holidays, and it was a reoccurring joke between me and my brother that I was, and I quote, still drawing frogs. I think that the next goal I'm going to work on with this game is publishing something out on the various app stores and Steam, so keep your eyes open for that. I'm not sure when the next video about this is going to be because right now I have a couple of projects lined up, but I guess we'll see what happens in the future. Thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, then like and subscribe. If you didn't, don't. Or whatever. I'm not your mom. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.